Hello everyone! Today we're going to take a little adventure into the world of art. Art can speak to us, but not with words like English, Spanish or Chinese. A poem can use words, of course, but what about a picture, a sculpture, a dance or a piece of music? How do they communicate? Each of these forms of art has its own special tools to share the thoughts and feelings of its creator. Let's explore this by looking at an old, famous story, the Greek myth of Daedalus and Icarus. Daedalus was a clever inventor who got trapped on an island with his son Icarus. To escape, he built wings of wax and feathers so they could fly over the sea. But before they took off, the father gave Icarus an important warning. Do not fly too close to the sun. The sun will melt the wax. But once they were in the air, Icarus became too excited. He forgot his father's warning and flew too close to the sun. His wings fell apart and he plunged into the sea. It's a sad story that reminds us to listen to advice and be more careful, even when we feel confident, brave, or excited. Artists have loved this story for centuries, and many of them have created paintings that show different moments from it. Some show Daedalus building the wings, some show him warning Icarus, and the others show the beautiful flight and the terrible fall. These paintings help us feel the emotions of the father and son. Now, let's look at the famous painting by the Flemish painter Pieter Brueghel, made about 500 years ago. It's titled Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. Let's take a closer look. Tell me, when you see this picture, what do you notice first? A farmer plowing his field with a horse, a huge calm sea with glorious ships sailing over it, cliffs and a distant town, a shepherd with his sheep. But wait, what does any of this have to do with Icarus? Where is he? There's nothing strange in the sky, no flying boy, no wings. Let's look closer. Down near the corner of the painting, near a fisherman, there is a tiny splash. And if we look very carefully, we can see two tiny legs sticking out of the water. That is Icarus. The entire painting is named after him, and yet he's the smallest and easiest figure to miss. Why would Brueghel do that? Was it a joke, a mistake? Not at all. Brueghel wanted to show us something very important. While something sad or terrible is happening to Icarus, the rest of the world just keeps going. The farmer keeps plowing, the shepherd keeps gazing at the sky and daydreaming, the ship keeps sailing. Nobody notices the splash. But why does the painter make us feel this way? By using the tools of visual art. We notice big things first, what's in the center and bright colors like red, white and black of the farmer's clothes. But Icarus is tiny, off to the side and in dull colors. That is why we only discover him last. Many years later, a poet named William Carlos Williams saw this painting. He admired how Brueghel told the story, so he decided to tell it again, but in words. A poem cannot use color, size, or placement. Instead, a poet must carefully choose the words, order of ideas, and the tone. Let's listen to his poem and notice what he tells us first and what comes last. According to Brueghel, when Icarus fell, it was spring. A farmer was plowing his field. The whole pageantry of the year was tingling awake near the edge of the sea, concerned with itself, sweating in the sun that melted the wings' wax. Insignificantly off the coast, there was a splash quite unnoticed. This was Icarus drowning. Just like in the painting, the poet starts with the peaceful world, the farmer, the spring, and the sea. And only at the very end does he mention Icarus, And even when he does, he tells us that it was quite unnoticed. And that is the wonderful thing about art. Different artists use different tools, but they can still express the same feelings and ideas in their own unique ways. Pictures use size, brightness, and placement, while poems use words, rhythm, and order of ideas. This way, they share the same powerful message. Here, both the painter and the poet invite us, through their art, to stay aware of what's happening around us and to remain connected to the people and events that need our attention. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.